All right, we are up and running. Hello, everyone. I am Richard Millett, the one and only. This is the quarantine streaming. I think it's about time we bring out the Rich Millett singers for the musical styling that goes like. Lovely. Last week we had, some issues. Big power outage, lots of rain. It's been a bright, sunshiny day all day, so hopefully that won't be a problem. So, it's called The New Nature. Now more than ever. We know what we've seen. So much more water falling from the sky, making miniature lakes out of puddles and forming little rivers and gutters. New homes being built where the mudslides ran, down the hills quenching the forest fires. So many new islands and bays for animals to gather together, standing on one foot. New games being played as new trees emerge in marshes and parks form over landing strips. We know what we think about it. Never desecrate the body, never poison the water supply, never bathe in insecticide. See and think. Never barter for bacteria, never throw poison down the well, never desecrate the body. In a glass sink, the water can start to build its own walls and divide its own chromosomes. In a glass shower, the nozzle calcifies the water and organizes the deposits into clear lines. On a glass floor, spilled water pulls away from itself, towards the corners, towards the door. On a glass ceiling, the water can reform into pointless droplet paintings. We know what we see and what we think. Hope you're all doing okay out there. Hope you're all having a nice day. God bless. Sometimes I have very rigorous set lists. Sometimes I don't. Today is one of the days where I do not. If this makes any sense, I only knew what I didn't want to read. So there's a wide gap. It's called Allison, where the blue sea and icebergs are. She's ice cream and she's down the hall. She uses words like everything and all. I can hear her, but I can't make out her features. I know she spends her weekends in a cement cinema making notes. The girl next to her tries to see what she wrote. Allison wonders why the guy in the elevator keeps on glancing at her and why the weather keeps jumping between rain and sun every 30 minutes. She keeps saying, "Quit asking me questions, I'm innocent." As people assume she's joking, Allison wonders, what are the windows thinking on a day where there's a white line down the center of the sky? Her mind cuts back to the guy on the elevator with a quick, "Look at me, look at you, we're equals." Allison wonders if she can keep hiding while knowing they're following me. Allison writes, what started as observations are now hopes, mostly about nature, and being young never stops being fun. We'll start that verse over. Allison writes, what started as hopes are now observations, mostly about nature, and being young stops being fascinating once it's done. Allison looks at her bowl of spinach, and her eyes focus down on the details of one leaf as she quietly speaks. An atheist sees this and can only think of the mud it grows from. Allison writes, we extend grace out of our own sense of grace, and smiles because she's not sure if that's something of her own or something she's half remembering from 2 or 3 incarnations ago. Allison considers why her back and hands are so slippery when she's invisible, and then tells her sister, my tongue is a graffiti sponge. I wonder if I'll have to make love in front of a judge. Allison considers that she's a character who looks and acts just like her, then draws a bath with the lights off. Allison invites her guests to walk barefoot while the cherries and red confetti float out of her iPhone. Allison considers emptying cash registers if the security cameras lose power. But what she mostly wants are completely natural segues with no artificial blends. So, make thoughts your aim or nerve blaming when all meet at your beginnings, but make allowances for worn-out tools and make dreams a trap for fools after they are gone. called When I Look. When I look and walls are in the wind, when I see you're unsure how to begin, I promise soon you'll be laughing with friends in open gardens clapping. When you see, you remember every dream. So we find it's simple to forget. So you find that you are very blessed. Through windows at sunset silently, faces meet your eyes smiling serenely. So you find you remember every dream. And you try imagining all things beyond eyesight and air over our celebration beneath streets unknown, untouched 40 fathoms deep, too far to reach. When I look and I talk to you, I know. When I see, you will never be alone. The mirror reflects a statue, lilac bush, and bee, and we agreed feelings create reality. When you see, you can remember every dream. In and near, eclipsing, absorbing, transmogrifying wood, water, and sand, pushing till the horizon is vanishing, scraping outer limits, distant and away. It's called Renaissance. Celebrate the Silver Age, the wonderful dawn, the dust from space, the transparent page, the grasp of discipline, possibilities unbound by definition, the reach of purposeful disassociation. The Silver Age, the cyclical start, the anti-doom, antidote to negation, and cynicism cloaked as intelligence, and laziness stealing from experience. The Silver Age, wisdom without citing a reference, ideation from the singular source, the interior physics married to open perception, divorced from pre-existing belief systems. Celebrate the Silver Age, the transfiguration of time, made clear in the present, the gift of interdependent contexts, in the spirit of enthusiastic creation, leaning on the curve and leaving a set of fingerprints superimposed, adding another angle to the environment. Two Franciscan nuns. Chewing mint leaves while crossing the Calumet River, the paper mill's exhaust pipes interrupt the vista. Mules waited with surge protectors, hairspray, and cassettes, a riverboat of morphine-addicted ghosts on the left. Two Franciscan nuns wanted to build a hospital, but settled for organizing games of chance in their hotel rooms. They squeeze out extra acidic orange juice and excommunicate people with unpleasant names from the phone book. Two Franciscan nuns helped decorate an admiral in the pensioner's home after he'd misplaced his uniform. They blessed his pills, kissed his parakeet, and as he slept, gathered sets of his false teeth to sell at the swap meet. A brain with blood and oxygen is better than a fish who talks. Well, what some people see as skin discoloration is in fact the natural pigmentation when viewed from inside. And some newspapermen have always known this and have nothing to hide. This is one I've never read before. Occasionally, I don't read certain pieces because I never created readable versions for them. So as they exist on the page, there are parts that are hard to read. So I have to clear my throat. Excuse me. Sorry about that. At any rate, I've never read this before, and there's no good reason as to why I haven't. It's from 2009. It's called Spiders. We're on a chart, headed to the hidden part. We both see the sealing key. We complete the mysteries. She lives through an ugly day, watches the car take books away. Her life is endless. Her family jettisoned. Katie's legs are rivers. Katie is unafraid to see her body roll away, drop on the floor and extend. If you try to capture her, crush her thin tube heart, wash around the blue-brown blood, she won't walk away to die. Emily feeds for 7 snakes, waiting for the dawn to break. Through the early blurred landscape, the sky will flood, then the glass. A shadow shines on the wall, saturates the fresco, guards the edifice unharmed. Emily finds a tree to climb, sings along with birds in time. By shaking branches free of leaves, her arms and ankles start to freeze. Katie bugged folks in her town because all she did was lay around till she hung herself upside down in the roundabout. Now they're kinder every day when Katie performs ballet. Emily sits in a field, quiets down through strength of will, closely examines her hands, spits to clean her fingernails. Emily walks home alone, skipping puddles in the road, explains exactly what she meant. I don't want anyone to get upset. Apollonia and Daphne, suspended in infinity, a group of tourists point and speak. My name is Emily. Emily's name is Katie. I'm telling you honestly. My sister sits next to me on the sea. We've left ourselves in the boat, threw out our shirts and coats. Now our arms move fleetingly through the rice and kelp. It's called the Gauntlet. Seeing her sister falling, sound of the puncture. As he sits in his box, she sits in hers, her face smeared tears, pleading for understanding. He learned his expression and how not to hear the wailing of either sister. Alone, he knows when his aim is perfect, he's untouchable. When his aim is perfect, they stay quiet. When his aim is perfect, they show respect. When I ask, they bring me water, they bring me clothes, they bring me paper. I am always my own possession. Skywriting virgins breathing exhaustedly. You can't keep singing at a grave that doesn't exist. It's unrealistic and disingenuous. I'll never answer back or visit your dreams, no matter what you think. If you insist on saying farewell, then you must leave, and don't keep me in your own private purgatory. Cracking gavel, image of entrails. I'll tell you what to do when you're half asleep. I'll erase your ability to succeed. I'll eat your concentration. It's called Sacrifice the Satellite. Moments before dawn, phone ringing, unable to suss if it was happening from impressions born in shallow sleep while lights flicked on in neighbors' windows. Or, as the drift sees me back in, we were gun runners trapped in a house detained by police, threatened by rivals, but I was able to slither out a side door and snuck away to a cafe where I was supposed to summon assistance, but decided instead, the hell with them. I was called to a room, the walls of the hallway were blue, and when I entered, there they sat, looking exactly as they did in 1984. When one spoke, there was no sound from their mouths, but the words sank loudly in my skull. Crushed flowers float downstream in the rainwater, and handmade smokestacks drip steam on half-awake blades of grass. New nuns count the gray hairs of their predecessors as they scan old photographs. Will they question who's alive in heaven? Are their words papering a mountain? They will have a moment where they behold the beauty of an empty screen or unplowed, snow-covered street. Lost in a world between are the souls who only dream when looking up. Thick, shimmering splotches of gray grease liquefy and start to drip down rusty-colored walls of skins, watched by a babe with a flashbulb embedded in their wrist, who sits on gouged black and gold tiles in the center of a disused ballroom dance floor among carelessly flung piles of metal-pronged monitors, cords, discs, spilled coffee grounds, broken vodka bottles, and asymmetrical platinum wigs. Every year there's a whisper the inventory will get a clean transfer. Winston Dubois knew the money recovered was wrapped in a mosquito net and secured in the back of a carriage. The horse stopped in front of an Air Force base, which got inadvertently captured on videotape, with the footage dissected by theorists for decades. Desmond Hampton learned Tony Chamberlain had double-crossed him as he drank milk and clapped erasers together outside his classroom. His signature had been forged and hidden throughout the system. The younger best brother thinks, if only I were a CEO buying companies whose names I don't know and could leverage my credibility to simultaneously flaunt my status and champion myself as an obscurity. The older best brother thinks, if only I were an oligarch and had a tapestry of machinery to do what I want, live in seclusion, invest in rare art, and pay for a hooker who looks like my daughter. Lost in a world between are the souls who only dream when looking up. The beams of starshine light land everywhere and leave valley-wide fingerprints for 7 years. Minute glass tubes can shiver without bursting squid ink or glistening diamonds laid out on linens. Spirals scrawled on maps with the location leading inside a puzzle box, while fungus slides up to a microscope and mixes with vinegar and bleach. Circles of sapphires line a linoleum tile with a surface so improbably clear it mimics a screen. Lost in a world between are the souls who only dream when looking up. How you guys doing out there? Doing okay? Looks good? All right. Doesn't look like we're having any problems. It's called animals. Actually, let us wait on animals. Do a little thematic jump. It's called horse. Let's share the silence while everyone's absent with the electricity out. It's unknown if the edges can be seen. Thin line, take your clothes off and find out if you're purple. Supine, time to get reserved by disengaged, dreary people. I'm optimistic enough to whisper in your ear, vanish into the walls and watch you walk to the chair. Let's share the silence, test the power of my stare and the limits of your willingness, then pretend we're unaware when you stand in front of the mirror and all the stringent reasons why you're really here. I'm clear enough to stand near the back, not against your thigh, to avoid glancing at your eyes. Let's share the silence, ease into your patience, measuring what each instant takes, seconds after the temperature breaks, and staying anxiously awake while the next 7 minutes are advanced into minute facets, slipping across conjoined elements. I'm open enough to adjust the embryo window, your tight spine, your consent, the tension kept sacrosanct. Now we are going to do animals. You soak the carpet in lingo, scratching the hair off your arms. You kicked out the stranger, ridiculed the superstitions he held on to. You lie restless, staying clean, wiping sweat, and I think about this quite a lot. Pressing the grooves of my fingerprints into my forehead, sending an idea that reminds us both. Hell, there was another plan. In crumbles of sugar, I saw wild motion. I hunched towards it. I looked at it happening. It felt like a parade, elephants awake and gallant. I had been so nerve-stacked, the loops of my heartstrings matched my eyelashes. I wore a royal blue jacket with gold sleeves. There was a swirl that came from the trumpets, a triumphant sound of repeating. There were banners hung from the tusks. My fingers had gone purple from clutching the baskets next to me. American Gothic didn't have this many thorns or any sepia tones to run on. I was welcomed in the house. I ate the cracker offered. The speech heated steadily. I found a pit of flower seeds. The displays had chanting and chips of bone and silver. A collection for the prison and dried hides of hunters. There wasn't an explosion, but then the ground bled. I swam through the cracks. All the plants had red stems. I want to be new, roll on straw, get my ribs bit by a tiger. I have memories about you, that cackle. I can see you bumming a cigarette from your grandkids with a sizzled mouth and bald patch. When you were younger, you were springing your superhero underwear, but you couldn't be my life. We never paid rent to each other, and there's so many people who don't know where to go to battle. I can climb to the top of the bungalow and jump off like Mark Monday from the second level, kick my legs on the way down, and get strawberry Italian ice at Freddy's after. I can climb into a Nova, and when my foot goes through the floorboard, I'll flag down a passerby, pay for a ride on the thresher. Wolves that land can burst into fire, deer protect themselves, and bears break into grain silos. Rabbits are the rats of the desert and crawl to eat the mice on the plains. But when the evening is still and quiet, and the candles are glowing violet, the sultry air makes you drop your cares, your doubts and your frowns. You descend down the stairs and head into town. Walk through the leafy glade, float on the ground beneath you, walk all night with your gaze fixed on your lover's face, sing a song of love that you learned from above, dream of her caress, the nape of her neck, and know that you'll never part. When the evening is still and dark, light remains in your heart. You feel so free, smashing on we you could be skipping stones all alone and not mind. Walk through the leafy glade, float on the ground beneath you, picture her delicate face, and ring the bell at her gate. Sing her a song of love, feel your joy soar like a dove. And when you're at home reading her poems, you know that you have found someone who can make all your dreams come true. It's called Jesus Christ. No, it's not called Jesus Christ. It's called Venus. I've never written anything called Jesus Christ. Perhaps I should. Venus waiting in a lake on the first day of spring glides past a pregnant crane, sees what the future can be. Venus waiting in a lake, picked ripe fruit from the trees, pouring petals in the water, splashing along with her baby. The sparrow takes flight, arise as it arrives. Venus sitting stringing pearls for her beloved girls, walks to where she's been sleeping on the deck, kisses her on the forehead. Venus swimming beneath the sun, can speak earnestly with anyone. The sparrow takes flight, arise as it arrives. Not to be whatever, but I had something to eat a while ago, and I'll tell you, um, it had oats in it, and in the back of my throat, it's really stabbing away. It's very annoying. It's called Fingerhouse. Where should I go? Soft nails, exposed pulse, traceable focus. Small, thin gray lines within mechanical reach, oral resonance and recognition, damp handprints on mosaics. Where should I go? Empty and without suggestion, dry bathtub, antiseptic self, turquoise pottery, carefully washed, not included in collection debates, and can catalog itself. A black and white television crackling on the last analog signal, transmitting drip brush pixelation to friends who have never met before dawn with unbent antennas and tinfoil knobs. No larger connection and no network without notice or critical thought, pure broadcast. Where should I go? To a cricket's lake where Mona Lisa and George Washington's faces urgently run by on filmy soap transfers until they burst into digital diagonal scribbles that shock sleeping bluebirds and hunting robins, where austere diagrams of skeletons are traced onto colored chalk and then onto trees with oil sticks that litter the walkways, where oysters recover jewelry fallen overboard and forgotten, where flashlights find glimpses into windows and fluoride is poured into jugs of cola. Where should I go? With a shopping bag full of batteries, returning a stolen bike to its parent company, walking in between unclean delivery trucks in need of repair while raw-toned steel whistle air floats on wisps of strawberry hair, and accelerated voices and nonsensical 10-second annoyances, a magician perfecting an illusion which ends with them curling up and sliding down a tree and pretending to be asleep while assessing what the crowd seems to think. Then a throne is carried on, seating a man in a parchment crown and wrapped in beach towels. Where should I go? Into a kitchen with aluminum knives and nurses in white lab coats and blue rubber gloves, rolls of tissue paper and unfolded t-shirts and personalized engraved nameplates. Where should I go? Knees to the chest, laying on the cool ground, scissors, heels pressed together, toes toward the sun, back to the cool ground. It's called Flowers at the Foot of a Cave. It's about being in love with a room, I suppose. Swinging light bulb above a cracked basement window, a painting depicting the creation of creation, and a makeshift bed. I made up a new name for you that I'll only keep in my head. My head. Look at the jewel resting in the bottom of the wooden cup, or the stack of handwritten sheets explaining the steps of the ritual in rich deep red, and the names of everyone there exist in my head. My head. Charcoal renderings of saints ripped from a magazine and pinned to the door, dented bits of metal shaped to make a mosaic and pushed into the floor. Quarter-inch thick spray-painted silver ribbons looped like ringlets in the air, and the floating stray white veins from a feather landing on your hair. Here I sit, half childish, with freshly washed clothes strewn over the chair. A tray with orange peels, melon rinds, and empty glasses rests balanced on the table's edge, while I'm reading a map leading to a room more colorful than the womb, where I can overhear things other than gurgling and organs rushing. Still, this will always be in its infancy, because love is where Genesis greets infinity. And for proof, you can look in my eyes, even though I won't confirm or deny how much of this is true. But I trust that will get worked out by you. I called swim to the center. When I wasn't, I was offensive, outside the wave, weak without a mission, never gaining strength. Why not? Yes, the river slithers, the confession pathetic, center of the solid rock punched clear through. Only a human with a circuit, a sky with breath. The order must be ignored, action and full action. I am ready. Are you going to swim to the center or waste your time in space? Do you know that your energy lasts forever, or are you convinced you should be stuck in one place? So what are you going to do? Protect your ego and hide in some group? We're free and so are you, and you better understand that, because if not, we're all through. Are you going to swim to the center or choose not to act? Are you going to deny and try to feel better and create a load of crap no one gets? What are you going to do? Lie behind shame, slogans, flags, and fake facts? We are here and so are you, and you better understand that, because if you don't, we're all through. What I see is invisible. We see together. What I feel is immeasurable. We feel together. What we make is untouchable. It's for the future. What we are is infinite. It's in the universe. Remember, wind is everywhere. Remember to smile at the air. Remember, you build each star. Remember to smile in the dark. Cheltenham Girl. Like a cloud, beautiful sound, standing before the signal. When the light shines on the ground, it reflects off the wheel. Parking lot next to the short building on the edge of the desert. She sees it's harder to be a number when you're starting as a visitor. Cheltenham Girl. Clouds can't create the shapes they make or hold on to any rain. Precious, temporary, holding no domain. No machines, no cell phones or computers, clicking through broken links. Credit card, social security needed. She'll refuse to register. Cheltenham Girl. Every day, another wish, another mile, closer to the point where I can portray it. Until then, all I'll do is sing to her spirit. She will return. So long. All right. It's called Silver Lace. It's from Mark McLaughlin. Never let it be said that the book won't be read or that the candlesticks will be thrown out. That's like asking about your blankets and what became of them. Were they left in an alley or boxed and lent to a friend? Never let it be said that the chickens won't get fed or that the evening coffee will run cold. That's like thinking the traffic lights will never turn red or that you'll run out of wire before you get to return home. I'm looking at a book of photographs by Robert Frank, size cut in half. Some maps people never thought to make, some paths people never thought to take. When Berkeley was originally settled, the center of town was marked with a church and a bank. Some people never think to give thanks, or wonder if they may be wrong. I still have the cassette you made, decorated with black magic marker and duct tape, though the sound cuts off in half the songs. Never let it be said that your sister will stay unwed, or that the scissors are no longer sharpened. That's like thinking the sun will never outshine the moon, or that the heat of the spring only lives in the swell of the afternoon. It's called Day. Seriously? It says we're having trouble with the video. Oh well, we're going to keep going because I don't waste time. We had enough time wasted yesterday. Last week. Feels like it was yesterday. Strange. All right, well, we're just going to keep going because that's what we do. It's called Day. The house was empty, nothing to be done. I tried but couldn't remember ever being 3 feet, filling space. But I'm looking on the mist and sun, and the day looks beautiful. I'll stare at the backyard and drink some water, and feel the heat break over my face. Today is another chance. I'll let it sit right next to me. Birds land on the lawn and ants crawl over the rocks. The only sound I hear is the breeze pushing the leaves away and the glider moving back and forth. I think today is going to be beautiful, seeing the mist off the sun. I'll roll my head on my shoulders and wait for night to fall. Do a bit of a longer one. It's called White Apple. Choruses 1 through 4. Or, you know what we could do? We'll do the whole White Apple saga. It's not really a saga. That's what we'll do. All right. The audience glares. The audience is alone, projected onto the cities, moving mouths, upside down, silent, cement, struggles for breath, lets the water run, walks with a stilted, failing gait. The water runs in the documentary, behind the page, a lesson in taking what you need, wanting to know, so bad, so thirsty, so eager for the seed. Roman columns, deep shadows, buttressed arches, fallen collective breach. Eyes cast upon the outer circles, eyes cast upon the oval rings over the sea, eyes cast on eternity, eyes cast on maternity. Then across the alley, across the street, he can see cracks in the statue's feet. He crashed his car against a building, against a lamppost, fluttering fingers ivory, dancing around, darting, mercury. The survivalist juts forward, head leering off the shoulders, sees the wet walkways glistening, over and unce to nobody listening. His face, an impression in plaster, refers to a thought he had earlier, but it's too austere to articulate. He's had too much sugar to hold his hands straight. As the glass carton breaks, he collapses, the cream running parallel over his veins. The audience on stage, the public case and faced in a clear plastic capsule with evenly explained rules, typed on an eggshell card displayed underneath, each remark cataloged and critiqued, each dismal dismissal a prized antique, washed clean when the rain ran dry, the only dot in the satellite sky, the audience needing permission, needing drink, needing oxygen again, the combination hidden in international waters, the shadow shining on the light, everything in plain sight secret, a camera on its tripod spinning a circular angle, a code transferred, captured, held by an ascending angel, All are welcome, but come open-handed, without guests or family. You'll enter easier naked, and your intentions won't be mistaken. Jagged rocks under the rushing river, which lead to the lake. The scene is a remake, a three-point star shape superimposed with stretching hands, making a cityscape, a cold exhaling, creating hovering clouds. Silent, take out the sound. I want to hear the rushing. I want to hear the pounding. I want to hear the happening. After the action, the empty air in my ears. I want to hear the flying birds make their calls, hear the echo reverberate off ancient stone walls. You become naked, with ivory skin, face like an alabaster wedding ring, grow and live in a green-tinted glass tower with marble accents. You know the leftover, unhealed scars of the ancients. You can taste the dead Romans in the ground when you eat the cloves of garlic, cold fingers on a clean line of events. Little pencil marks leaving a rumor under the map, lotus position on the floor, side of your head laying in ice water, fresh sage on the bell, and in your pocket a jade pendant of a lantern, match earrings, a lone cigarette, a farthing and a sixpence, a plan to go to the States, but not sure what dimes and nickels are worth yet, or where you find Wyoming on a map, but that's a question at best for the solicitor or a prayer to the lace maker. When you have the relics, word came from the pontiff, an aged tooth now black as onyx. You become naked with ivory skin, face like an alabaster wedding ring in an apartment penthouse, filled with ferns, studying in a blue flame or the serrated edge of the ancients who built the park you gaze out at. Boys and girls climbing a ladder, preparing a crown that they will wear if they choose to, they can share, looking at the Khyber Pass, burying a cart with supplies to last, heat production, carving a chair before the mold hardens, pressing stones into the floor of the garden, removing spikes from the ocean. Twin conversations without a sound, ripple effect, the rings spread over the gown, their bodies, the sun and stars barely touching, beginning of the day, reflectionize every moment in exchange of an inspired surprise. Boys and girls. My front door, there was a knock. Didn't open up even a tiny crack. I said, go away from here and never come back. But that was an illusion. I know a servant in her master's house. She walks around, head tilted up in arousal and awe. She never plans to come out. She's quiet like a nail in the wall, slides her face down the granite on the fireplace to calm herself after roaming the limestone banquet hall. She is a far greater virtue than those she sold her name to. She never stops speaking in an inaudible hum, turns the ringer off on the phone. She said to me that I could be a great actuary. I said, why? And she replied, well, in your soul and out of their cells, you know people can't save themselves. Celeste, plucking out notes. Your voice enters, both leaping the octave up. I never need to find you. I see you everywhere I look. Every flower petal, every blade of grass is another detail of your face, your flesh. You sit at the piano and play simple chords ascending, and as the sustain fades, the tones are slightly bent. Each note you've picked is one of the elements. You're lighting up this room without even realizing it. You write down that I is another, your electricity, you make me. She asked her, what do you think of the shower? She said, it's beautiful, warm, warm. But she could drink each drop, but she shouldn't say anything is beautiful because she doesn't know you. She's never seen you, not even a picture. It's true. You make me. It'll take 7 minutes to tell you about how sometimes I feel like I'm a vampire. I take your feelings, your moments, and feel them deeper than you did. Make you think you're insincere, but is that so bad? I don't know. You make me. I run. You've always been free. You're so smart, smarter than I am. Maybe that's what I believe because I've never seen you stop and think. It simply is, forwards, and you can be in reverse. But I think your mind is maybe the most beautiful thing, but then your eyes, and I rewrite the list all the time. Heaven's choir is harmonizing for you right now. Can you hear them? Can you feel the reverberations gently hold your body? What they're singing about? Only 1 in 30,000 could ever hope to understand it. Further words fail me. I just want to watch from my window and think about the falling rain, rest my head and see your grace. I'll be back to you in just a moment. I have to change the subject for a second. The cloud drizzled down today, only followed by the most incredible vacuum of quiet, a right shock of silence, and up from that, after about a paused minute, was the first truly joyful noise we've heard in a long while. To us alive on earth, a celeste plucking out notes. Warm, warm, let's kiss. You make me. Hopefully this is all going out. This is called Yours Is. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel beautiful. Beautiful. One sunny day, it was on one sunny day, the crying light I watch reflected in your glasses after Christmas Day, spinning, fixing the broken gate. One sunny day, we want you to feel relaxed. We want you to feel beautiful. On the black lacquer you slept, on the cement you stepped. We threw away your batteries. You painted for us. We couldn't express how beautiful. One sunny day. Oh, yeah. This is another one I've never done. Again, there's not really a reason why. Things just have to wait for the right time. I wrote this in 2002. Hopefully this is all still going out. We'll see. For you, one white cloud you can live inside of. For me, one blue-black river I can swim out of. For everyone, one bronze bolt of lightning we can absorb the energy of. This is, I'm dancing with the skeleton key. I'm dancing with the skeleton key pinned under my belt the night after I'd had two simultaneous dreams in ocular split screen, one where a white-tailed fawn galloped to the front door and another where my brother couldn't sleep. I'm dancing with a skeleton key tied on a twine cord around my neck, remembering when my sister was locked in a minivan and stranded in a parking lot outside of Boston. She kissed the windows and ate the tape in the cassette deck. I'm dancing with a skeleton key in my unopened mouth, tucked behind my wisdom teeth and obscured by my tongue. I have memories that my sister still won't believe, and I miss the 20th century. It could have been so much better. I'm dancing with the skeleton key, scotch taped to my arm. When I was in school, the vice principal gave himself a heart condition, trying to figure out who had stolen from the convenience store, then boasted about it on the blackboard. I'm dancing with the skeleton key in the grotto of a dilapidated Catholic church where the priest once confessed to me that after each funeral he performed, the only way he could raise his spirits was by making uneasy music with the organist. I'm dancing with the skeleton key concealed in an alley while bells chime at midnight near the railroad and kids with no curfew dodge between dashing flashlights on their way to play hide and seek in the park. I'm dancing with the skeleton key laid on the floor of a garage while my brother draws out diagrams on poster boards, connecting lines from consequences of thoughts to isolated islands of thinking divided by unintended regressions of actions. I'm dancing with the skeleton key while I'm safe and home, looking at sealed bags of clothes that I stopped wearing years ago while I was running for mayor on an unconfirmed platform of leaking information about the governor. I'm dancing with the skeleton key in an adjacent office because the evidence my brother uncovered just got delivered to the lawyer and he predicts it will make the judge jump and remove any condemnation from his mouth. I'm dancing with the skeleton key in the strip mall that used to be a swimming pool and before that a man-made hill that covered demilitarized waste trucked in from a Floridian base, and it will take 100,000 years before any of it reaches its half-life. I'm dancing with the skeleton key clasped tightly in my hand as I watch my sister in the mirror speak sentences with one word and plant orchids next to power lines in the backyard. Then she dots the driveway with empty jars to accurately measure the rainfall. I'm dancing with the skeleton key in my pocket, moving loosely with me. My brother used to cry bitterly to our parents every time he got a ticket, refuting each offense, denying that he did any of it. I'm dancing with the skeleton key, sliding uncomfortably in my shoe, but the nuisance helps give me the presence of mind to always hold up what I was taught, that when the rent is due, it's better to be full and well slept than to hand over a blank check. I'm dancing with a skeleton key pressed into a book, watching leaves in the wind, and a novelist at a press conference performing fake sign language, hoping it will get him the attention he wants for trying to revive the printed word. This is Canary Milk. Sweltering sun in the forecast, but it's raining right now. Retired teens nostalgic for holograms as their granddads watch rocks roll on the ground and wonder when they can be farmers in glass pods on Mars. While Amanda eats factory fresh candies and laughs jaggedly at vulgar stories. The boy who awoke in the toy aisle one evening moved more elegantly than his mother had ever seen as he picked items off a worn, well-folded list before deciding he'd rather have a pet eel instead. While Amanda watches her neighbors bickering and daydreams deleted scenes from their past. The delivery man is ready for the weekend as he ignores reports on the European heat wave, instead marveling about the new house on his route and how much it must cost each month to keep the swans fed and the water in the lagoon fresh, while Amanda feels no urgency to call back her agency and laughs at people voluntarily photographing their chores. Sunrise on the Caina Islands. Sunrise on the Caina Islands, watching from the shore. Take a picture so I won't forget. Sunrise on the Caina Islands, drawing with my eyes. Save it so I won't forget. Azure bird observes the river in its shimmering glow. Ranulph finds walking across the soil while filming the sky. I don't see the bell, there must not be one. The lane and land both bend to shape the horizon. Sunrise on the Caina Islands is eclipsing time. Save it in a flash of light, drawing with my eyes. It's called Newly Forming Land. I've seen the newly forming land, the beginning of the plan, the greatness of the expanse, the brand new day where nothing will be forced away. I've seen the angle of the road. I've seen the angle of the road. The expectation unfolds. The day, the newborn day, the newborn day will be coming, and the space will sweep us away. It's called White Cello. Take the white envelope next to your right hand. Go to me. Here, lick the ceiling. Thank you. Talk to me. I'm in the open window. I'm not in time, but I've got your watch and I need to learn to play this white cello. Scratch the surface. I'm on the shore with a can of sugar. It's never bitter. I'd really rather be playing, though, because I like the white strings and the white bow. That's not her. That's her. was the simplest thing you said today. I'm still reeling with no moments except now. We don't possess any microscopes, so I will take the telescope. I'm trying to be angelic, which isn't easy after getting desensitized with disappointments. Every night eating fresh vegetables, but planning, you already know, and then you talk me out of it. You don't have a pistol in your waistcoat. Your teeth aren't flecked with flax seeds. My misjudgments are my own, and most are unknown. And just because I'm a pacifist doesn't mean that just anyone can abuse me. And speaking of myself, notice me. I'm standing next to the tree where the guy crashed the stolen car, then got out and ran for it. But I can behave for over 100 days, and I've squandered my efforts and so much goodwill that sometimes I still need to convince myself that I should try to take lessons to play it all. But I'm sure you want me to, and I know what I can do. And with that, we're not missing anything. We're humming songs through the phone. We're midnight movers. No, we're not. And don't be the guy on the bike in the right lane racing for his life against rush hour traffic in the morning. I know you are, and you know that I care, and I feel like I'm Clark Kent dressed in primary colors, and I just haven't taken off my glasses yet. She said, as long as it's not evil, and I cannot be evil. Not right now, but it's the rising sun, it's a hard-boiled egg, it's basil, it's a blue charm. I just want to play the white cello. I just want to sit in a circle and think about it some more. So are we going to wrap this up, or are we just testing people's patience now? No, no, no. I'm thinking out loud. It's warm communication going on here. See, that's what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to change some channels. Quarters, nickels, and all sunbathers must be wearing a blue suit. It'll be like a reverse safari where they put lions, cheetahs, and tigers in a truck and drive them around to show them people shopping or walking down the street or pumping gas. It'll be the apex of manifestation. That's right, Van. Or it'll be the suburban safari where some guy named Greg gives you a little pith helmet and plastic binoculars, and you can wait under his kitchen table for his cat to use the litter box. But why does it got to be white? I never heard from before. Advertising space available, clean, clear water, and of course, the tastiest tomatoes. It's called cruelty-free heroin. Mm. Sorry about that. Disgusting. When the Guardian goes mad, the sun rains against the eardrums, indistinguishable from Morse code tapping on a copper plate. Yes, when the Guardian has gone mad, they're found singing love songs to tanks, draping staircases and flags, breaking car windows to decorate their faces with the glass. When the Guardian goes mad, they're captured pushing a pickaxe into an LED screen and detained for threatening to throw snakes at gas station attendants. When the Guardian goes mad, people suddenly remember to turn on AM radio and patiently follow guidelines before filing a full report. Though there are always doubters and passers-by who start conspiracies, the usual being that this was a planned distraction. And I don't know about you, but I'm against all enforced border patrol with guns. If the Guardian goes mad, they'll arrive at every awards ceremony with a mirror in hand and a ribbon under their chin to make demands to review the voting process when they don't win. If the Guardian goes mad, they'll rue the day they lost control of their relationships, spending weeks hiring staff to bury paperwork they'll insist doesn't exist. If the Guardian goes mad, all their meal shall consist of orange peels pulled from chain link fences and burned coffee flavored with molded peach preserves. Though there are always doubters ready to offer an opinion of unverifiable proof, summarizing the death and maps are the only real measures of impact. And I don't know about you, but I'm against all enforced border patrol with a wall and you know, a constant police presence. I'm against anything even vaguely like that. I don't know about you. If the Guardian cracks up, they'll spend bleak days envisioning trees committing suicide, grandmothers doing crystal meth for the first time, and gnats smeared into toothpaste. If the Guardian cracks up, 7 strangers stuck in a bank will claw at each other and seek cold air in the vault and wait for their families and firemen to arrive and dig them out. If the Guardian cracks up, pirates will walk their own planks and devour themselves once they hit the water, thrashing back at their gnashing teeth, running the seas red until hunter and prey are one. Ignorance, arrogance. The pest control man said unto me, when I was in Japan, I bought cherry bread in a can. I opened it with a knife and slit off the wrapper. The air bubbles stayed floating in my mouth, and I rolled them around until I returned back to the West. Bliss, tolerance. The pest control man said unto me, sometimes my apartment building turns into a vending machine, and I get deposited out into the evening to provide goods and services for lucky couples with good taste and a few wandering dollars to rub together. This is fucking truth. Cool. How you doing, Van? God bless you. All right, here we go. I've been living like the whole FBI died in a Kool-Aid mistake. I've been keeping a time bomb in my shoe so I know my watch is correct. I got a tiger by the tail waiting for it to end tomorrow. I've been up all night burning my bridges, making jokes about ex-friends' fetishes. I won't tell you to hold on or say you don't deserve what you get. You won't ever see me take the first step. I got a tiger by the tail waiting for it to end tomorrow. I got a floorbird in the garage. I've been overstimulated. I've been sore. I got away alive and sane. I didn't get strangled or stained. I got away alive and sane. And with that, I greet the puppies with a smile and attempt to comb my hair for a while. I idle my time on a red velour sofa. It's not mauve, it's not puce, it doesn't look anything like you. It's ugly, it's red, it's got plastic cushions. I spilled my apple juice on that sofa. Or is it a love seat? Or is it a futon? It might be a bidet for all I can see, but whatever the hell it is, I don't want to sleep on it or eat your chocolate cake anywhere near it. I don't even want to go in your house because your dog humps my leg and your boyfriend picks my teeth and your dad chews my eyelash and there's not 1 inch of floor space clean enough to lick. You turn my water brown. Your senile granddad dresses like a clown and he's got a big red nose that's not nearly as revolting as that sofa. So by the way, I'm not coming over tonight, so quit following me down the hall or hitting on me on the toilet stall, because any house with that much Elvis on Velva won't find me on their front porch swing or their Norman Rockwell painting. Maybe I will drop by, dressed in armor and a satin hat with some flowers for the maid and cocktails for the cat that never got me in the sack and a muzzle for that dog. And I'll cut out your nose hair and put it on your pancakes and yell, supper is served, so the butler can take a night off and throw some darts at Granddad. And for dessert, I'll serve pigs in a blanket garnished with spaghetti Suzette with some lighter fluid and a Locky or Ma's pubic hair to torch that fucking sofa to the ground, because it really ain't Art Deco no matter how hard you try, and the vinyl siding may go up in flames, but it really ain't little pink houses after all, now is it, Toots? We're doing a collage. It's going to be a collage. You know, it's a collage. It's like a menage of a collage. They arrive every year this time. They put swimsuits on, they tell jokes and get the punchlines wrong. We set up the continental breakfast and watch the elevators come down. Before the wake-up calls, we're cleaning the halls. The tables are heavy. We vacuum the lobby. The rest of the morning, we're washing silverware and folding towels. I have to work a double tonight. I'm tired, but I don't mind. At least I'll get some overtime. But by 9, it seems like this shift will go on forever because it feels like I'm living in a non-stop dream. The lights are always on. I can't sleep or run away because I'll get in trouble. I can't believe they stiffed me on a tip. I carried their luggage to the street. This is real, so bite my lip and don't ever look back. I get so frustrated when they ask me to repeat things because of my accent and then say, it's cute the way you speak, and I have to listen to some woman complain about the thread count of the sheets. I don't want to work tonight, but I really don't have a choice. I have to make what I can now because I won't be young forever, because it feels like I'm living in a non-stop dream. The lights are always on, and I can't sleep or run away because I'll get in trouble. I can't believe they forgot to fill the pool with chlorine second time this week. Not my job, but they still complain to me. This is real, so bite my lip and smile politely as I can. Yes, I understand. My heart really gets racing when their kids throw things. I can't wait to go home tonight, but it'll be all okay, because it's either this or the Spoon Factory, and I can't wait to go home tonight. All right. So we're in the home stretch. We're in the home stretch. It's very exciting to be in the home stretch. We love the home stretch. So close. So close. All right. We're going to try one we've never done before. See what happens. This may not work. Called Outsider Envy. When I didn't eat because I was afraid of being fat, when I stopped combing my hair because I didn't care, because it was beaten or mocked out of me, I never knew and had no way of knowing when they were calling me fat or a fag. This is the second act, and it's dedicated to everyone I've survived. This is the second act, and it's dedicated to everyone who has survived. I got a hangnail. If it were possible, I'd have gone outside with a brown paper bag over my head with eye holes cut out. Now this is the second act, and the people who beat me wish they were me, because now they have outsider envy. They want it so badly to cop a little piece of being picked last or never invited to the party, to use that as the basis of an argument that too many people have too many rights, risk their future because they can't work out how to bully back. So they try to cop my attitude. They used to beat me, and now they got outsider envy. And now I don't have hair, and I still don't fucking care. And I still have a hangnail, and will survive you. You can't beat me with one lane of news. Can't beat me trying to swim up a clogged stream. Can't beat me making billionaires happy. Can't beat me trying to relive the 80s. Can't beat me when you've got outsider envy. And the question is, well, you still don't have to worry about being black, and you wouldn't trade spots if you could, but you try to cop a little piece of their pain, snidely working some slang, advertisers for blue lives who are authorized to satisfy your cravings. The question is, what's your joke? Boil down your building and pretend it's a community with a creative culture, but it's just a Burger King. It's just your latest costume. And this is the second act. Take a good look. Take a good look, because I'm what your future's supposed to look like. And the future is for everyone who's survived you, which really isn't that fucking hard to do. This is the future, and the truth too. Everyone knows the story about the emperor's new clothes, but what if the emperor disrobed and his subjects in court were aghast or disinterested in his state of undress? What if he defiantly stood there naked anyway? It's called, well, fuck that. Party of Colors. Her eyes open while pretends she can feel her fontanelle. She thought she might be a post person or her cousin. She read the news, fear of law, and God and man, and infinite dynamic loop. She was one image at a time, so she thought she was a person, right? She wrote some news. Platitudes aren't solutions, and fill space between waves. No, I'm new. She always knew that the feeling of being new was something she could always circle back around to. Honeybee 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a coral pink butterfly butterfly heading to me. You're looking through your jeweled eyes. I'm waiting for your surprise. A birthday card, an aquarium hung on the wall, a memory in a vein swimming around, arriving too late to hear a favorite song. Flying, flying like a honeybee that counts the flap of its wings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keeping everything else alive. Bubbles on the honeycomb coming together in unusually warm weather. Honeybee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keeping everything else alive. And this is, of course, always, all the time. Now then, now then, now then! The present is in the future. History is present. The future is present. The present is present, and history is history. And we see the future pushed to the foreground, and wonderfully, all three, you and me. I wish our future is flying birds. The weather is in the sea, gravityless moment, caught, dotted with cherry trees and colored pencil. There is very little in life that matches what I feel when you smile back at what I whisper to you. We're in the room and we're out of nowhere, looking at the inlet together in letters and circles, like a slit in the curtain, like a fluttering bird ready to bathe, like an oxidized copper fountain. I want to be with you always, all the time, like a white shirt with a fresh grass stain, like a streetlight breathing air, like waving from the top of a ladder. You plan all the plans, always, all the time, like a strawberry on the counter, like fingernails washed clean, like a bee being curious of a new flower. You are adorable, always, all the time, like pickled ginger on salmon, like a workbench in the sun, like an invention imagined. We are here and with each other, always, all the time, like a cat cornering a grasshopper, like a licked stamp pressed with a thumb, like a rectangle with unbroken corners. You are mine, I am yours, always, all the time. And that concludes another edition of the Quarantine Stream, folks. I will be back next week, God willing. God bless. Stay safe, be smart, and hang in there. And don't forget, stay free, because you already are. And don't forget,
life is but a dream in the quarantine stream.
God bless and good night. And as always, thank you for listening. I have been Rich Millett. Well, I'm still Rich Millett, and I will always be Rich Millett. And, you know, all my stuff out there, Flux Life Inc., you get the idea. Yeah, you can go check it out. All right. God bless. Goodbye.